Good morning. How are you? Oh my goodness. Welcome back to my channel. I am Lisi, aka the Brooklyn Book Belle, and thank you so much for clicking on my video today. Y'all, I'm not even in my normal seat. Also, if you didn't see yesterday's video, yes, the bookshelf is still leaning, and it will be until I get my life together. Okay, my mother was like, I can't believe you're gonna get on YouTube with that bookshelf looking like that. And listen, that is a problem for a more together Felicia, and when she's together, the bookshelf will be together. But until then, everybody say lean. That bookshelf is leaning. And just yapping, but I'm not in my normal seat. Normally I sit over at my desk, but this morning the sunshine was like, hey, good morning. I was like, ooh, okay, I can't film over here. I can't even see. This is crazy. Oh, but yes, so we are here, everyone. Oh my God, it is day 2 of the 30-day post everyday challenge for Black Booktube is Reading, and I'm so excited. Day 2. Okay, so today I thought it best approach. Let me take a sip of coffee. I haven't even had coffee. Child, I just rolled out the bed and got in front of the camera, child. Woo, let me put myself together. Okay, focus. Where are my fidget toys? Today is my day 2 video of Black Booktube is Reading, and I wanted to do a mid-year like tag or like a mid-year check-in because I haven't talked about books all year. So y'all don't know what I've been reading. Hell, I don't even know what I've been reading. Do I know? I mean, kind of, right? Like the RAM isn't what it used to be, but because it's been full of other things. But I have been reading this year. Okay. Let's see what I got. I'm gonna pull up Storygraph. If you don't know, I use Storygraph, which is a Black owned reading tracking app. I no longer use Goodreads. I don't go over there. I think my Kindle still like puts books over there, but I don't be over there at all. Like I don't think in the last 2 years I've used it. I am strictly on Storygraph, and Storygraph does need you to do the extra step because it's not connected to your Kindle, but I just feel like just do the extra step. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just me. So yeah, so I'm on Storygraph, same name, Brooklyn Book Belle over there. And you can follow like what books I'm reading, but I'll put my link to my Storygraph down in the chat. So I'm over on Storygraph, and let's see what I've been doing. One, I like Storygraph because I like data. Like, I'm a nerd. Like, what's my grade? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it kind of gives me that feel of being able to like track my progress, which I am obsessed with and I love. And so far this year, I've read 71 books, 18,447 pages. I feel like that is the lyric from Rent. 5,600 minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so 18,447 pages. And on average, it has taken me 5 days to finish. Another caveat, this year, I do not have a reading goal. I didn't even set myself up because I was like, you're going to be trying to finish this degree, which I did everything by April 30th. And so, yeah, so my stats look crazy. I was starting books, not finishing them. And just to take the pressure off, I was like, you know, don't give yourself a goal. Just read for vibes. We're reading for vibes over here. Yeah, and so I don't really like the mood tracker on Storygraph. And I don't like the pace because I read it fast. It was 50 pages. I don't know. Page number, interesting. 70% was less than 300 pages. And that is how I kind of blow through books, is by reading books that are under 300 pages. I don't know what the romance author commitment to romance being over 275 pages. Like, why we can't fall in love in 250 pages? Like, me and my book club, the Page Turner Homies, we are committed to, you should be able to fall in love in 200 pages. Like, every time that we try to like read a book and it's 400 pages, we be like, no, we're not reading that. We're not reading it. A romance of 500 pages, y'all have lost your mind. You've lost the plot. The fuck are we doing? I'm just kidding. If you love long romances, Godspeed. It's not my ministry. I'm not reading it. I'm sorry. They throw me into like the worst reading slumps. So you will see a lot of my books are shorty McShorties, okay? 200 pages. That's what I like. It's my sweet spot. 275. I don't know. When I read a book that's 275, I just feel good. But 25% of the books that I read were 499 pages. I do feel like I got suckered in to some long books, and then I was like, how did I get here? But fine. And then 4% were 500 plus. And y'all know I don't bash books on my page, so I won't even be going into detail about the trauma that I suffered. But when we get to the book out tag, I'll go into deeper. So yeah, so this year, so far, fiction, nonfiction, 88% fiction. Yeah, because I want to be in another world, because our world sucks. This world sucks. This timeline sucks. I don't know what the fuck we got going on, but it sucks over here. So 88% was nonfiction and 88% was fiction and 12% was nonfiction. And I have been doing a much better job at reading my physical nonfiction books. And so that kind of, you know, really got us in a different space. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, the genres, romance, romance, fantasy, erotica are my top 3. Romance is almost at 45 books. So yeah, that tracks. Okay, format, y'all, I'm doing so much better this year. Oh my goodness. 85% digital and 15% physical. Listen, I could go on and on and on. As much as I want to be a book collector, I am a poor, recently graduated from grad school student, right? I ain't got no money, I ain't got no job. So, girl, you can't be out here buying all these books. So I'm really focused for the latter half of the year to really read the books that I already own. Like, it's a me thing. I'm not asking people to stop buying books. I would never do that. I'm not even gonna be like, I have a philosophical reason why I'm not buying books. No, I'm poor and I'm gonna read what I got. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just where I'm at. And so I got a lot of books in here. So I've been reading physical books. I'm so proud of myself, actually. Okay. Number of books and pages. So 71 books, again, 18,447 pages. That's crazy. Pretty cool though. And I don't rate books. I rate books personally in my book journal, but I don't rate them on the internet, and I don't get on here and be like, this 5 stars, 4 stars. I don't know. I don't know. Again, nothing philosophical. I just don't want to do it. I have no yearn in my spirit to do it. And so I stopped. And so I don't really feel like I have to tell people why I didn't do it. I just don't do it. I don't know. It's probably because I'm lazy and I just don't want to. But you best believe my book journal is star ratings over there. To myself, I'm telling. Yeah. Okay, so I took the questions from Lex Reads over on YouTube, because I have been following Lex for years, and she is one of my favorite bookish content creators. Shout out to Lex. And she does this mid-year book tag every year, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give her a shout out and just take her questions, because I wasn't tagged in anything. I just felt like this was a great way for me to give myself kind of like a train of thought to talk about the books that I've read this year. 71 books. And I will say, like, I don't know. This year I'm reading books and I'm not underwhelmed. And maybe it's the books that I'm choosing, right? And I try to organically like find books that interest me and read them. I don't really seek out recommendations. Like, if I hear a good recommendation or someone sells a book really good, I'll think about it. But yeah, it's a lot of just being online and going through lists and, you know, different things. But yeah, so here's my little mid-year book tag. Let's do it for funsies. Let's see if I still got it, y'all. Okay. The best book you've read this year so far. And I also just want to say, I would have done this challenge at the end of the month, but I was like, it's the middle of June. It's past the middle of June by the time this video goes up. And so I think I'm safe to say I know what I read, and I'm in the middle of a few books that will probably take me to the end of the month. So I don't think I'm going to read something that's going to change this list. We're just going to go with it. Okay. The best book you've read so far this year. I have two. Of course I have two, because I can never just decide on one. I got two. Okay, the first one is Ken by Tayari Jones. And let me just say that Shelby was like, I think you would love this book and I think you need to read it. And she was right. Oh my goodness, that was my first book by Miss Jones, and I am a fan. I bought 2 of her books right after I finished Ken, because I was like, well, now you got to read more, because who's writing like this? It follows 2 friends who both lost their mother in different ways. One's mother passed, the other, her mother, she lost her like to life, right? So she's not in her life. And they're what they called cradle friends, because they were kind of raised as babies together. And their lives go on 2 different paths, but they stay in touch. And the story really explores this idea of chosen, not just found family, right? Because I think when you're cradle friends, when you're childhood friends, it's a lot of your parents putting you together, or the people who are raising you putting you together. And so this is more so that non-blood connection that we make with people, and they're very deep and they're very bonded. And my goodness, was this story just, I don't know, y'all, I cried the last 30 pages. Like, I still think of these 2 characters and how this book ends, and oh my goodness, like, one goes and kind of does the non-school path, the other one goes to Spelman College and is, you know, inducted into this life of what is it called, not identity politics, but oh my goodness, Felicia, get your words together. But very just like this prim and proper life. And she's just really trying to follow rules, but she really ain't following rules, because she's also having experiences that are kind of on the outside of not good girl politics. What is the word that I'm thinking of? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's going to be on the tip of my tongue later. But these 2 women in their life in this book is one of the most phenomenal things I've read on the page, and I'm still emotionally affected by this story. I mean, that's just how phenomenal it was. I think everyone should read it, for sure. The second one was Dragon Blind, a new to me author as well, Iman Christians. I found this book randomly on Threads. I was scrolling on Threads and the author posted it, and it's this beautiful cover with this black girl and this dragon, and I'm like, what's that? I need to read it. And I'm so happy that I made the time to read it when I read it, because I was like, you need something fantastical, right? You need something that's going to take you on an adventure. And I've kind of been doing that. I read a couple others. I read Mayhem and the Mortal. I read An Unlikely Coven, which we'll talk about later. But I have been on this like fantasy kick, and Dragon Blind is so good. Like, think like Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, but she's blind, and her blindness is not a handicap. It is actually her superpower. And she has all these men around her that are playing a lot of games, right? Like, and she is just like, y'all really think y'all could just run circles around me because I'm blind? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't try it. You know what I'm saying? And the cast of characters is fantastic. The journey that they go on is so fucking cool. The next book isn't out yet, and I'm so sad about it. But literally, I'm walking up on random people. I'm like, what you reading? And they're like, oh my God, I just read Dragon Blind. And they're like, wasn't it good? I'm like, it was fantastic. Damn, that book is good. Because she's such a strong character. And like, her story arc is not one of like, woe is me, I need to be saved. Oh, I love a woman in a book that don't need to be saved by no man. Damn. Whew. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be like Cinderella sitting in a dark, cold, dusty cellar. You know what I'm saying? I don't. None of us do. You know? The book is just so good. So good. So those are the 2 best books I read this year. Okay. The next question is, what is the best sequel that I've read this year? And technically, This one is kind of a cheat because I read this entire series in the matter of 5 days. Go with me. Go with me. Just go on this journey with me. Let me pull it up. So, you know how, again, scrolling on thread. Yo, book threads is my favorite place. And the well-read pharmacist over on Threads, Anaya, put up this first book, and I just liked the cover. I was like, ooh, that's pretty. And so I go over to Kindle Unlimited, and I was like, ooh, okay. 508 pages, Dominique Black, a new to me author. I'ma try. Let's see. You know what I'm saying? Because the first time I read Demon's Dream, like, that was 1,000,000 pages, and I read that shit in like 72 hours. So it can be done. If the writing is the writing, it can be done. You know what I mean? So I get into the first book in the Southhurst Syndicate, and there are 5 books. I read them in, yep, February 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. I read them in 5 days. Yeah, so I read the first one, Velvet and Venom, and I was like, okay, just go to the next one. Just boop, right on. I'm pretty sure I stopped doing homework so that I could read these books. And so my favorite sequel actually is my favorite book in the series, Sage and Sin. Sometimes Love Comes Baptized in Blood. Now listen, I do think I like this book because it had connections to Louisiana. It had like hoodoo spiritualism. And what I will say that I really enjoyed about this series, it was very episodic, and each book felt like a completely different book. I was like, whoa, wait, is this the same world? Are these the same? These people know each other? Like, the way the author wrote each book so different. Kudos to Dominique Black, because I think sometimes when authors write these very long, this long series of books, it could get kind of repetitive. You know what I'm saying? But when I tell you, it wasn't even episodic. It was more like a mini series, and like each one, or like an anthology, and like each story was so different from the one before it. Oh, that's why it was so fun reading it, because I'm like, wait, these people know each other, but these stories are so different. So Sage and Sin, Mo Garrison is not a hero. He not. But Yaya is a hoodoo spiritualist, and they kind of partner the two characters as violence and healing, which I really love, and that they weren't supposed to fall in love, and they really wasn't. Oh, this book made me cry too. Wait. Oh my goodness. All right, it's coming back to me. You know how you start reading it and you're like, oh wait, I read it. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I think that there's something really beautiful about the harshness of street life, and the beauty of a character who can kind of love a person who society would probably deem as unlovable. And so I think this story does that really well, and I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. I would say that the Southhurst Syndicate 5-book series is a must read for sure. Okay, the next one, new releases that you haven't read but want to read. That's pretty easy. Tia Williams is an automatic buy for me. It just happened to be sitting here. This is not my copy. This is a friend's copy. But The Missed Connection, a novel by Tia Williams. I trust Tia Williams so much. I haven't even read what the book is about. That's how much I trust Tia Williams. Like, I'm just gonna put it out there that I'm probably gonna like it, and I haven't watched any reviews on it so far, because I want to go into it blind. I want to test the theory of if she's a real automatic buy to me, or have I just been kind of like leaning in to the hype, which I don't think I have, because A Love Song for Ricky Wilde is one of my favorite books of all time. It just is, and. So let's see what she follows up. No, Love Song wasn't the last. The daughter's book was last. Yeah, the daughter who was like the school therapist and falls in love with the bad boy, which was also super cute, living in Brooklyn. What I will say is that I know that Tia writes. I wonder, does this one take place in New York? Let's see. Oh, she's going to Paris. Okay. What I love about Tia's writing is how she makes the city that the book takes place in. Such a notable and formidable character. And 7 Days in June, Love Song for Ricky Wilde, and A Perfect Find. She wrote New York beautiful. She wrote New York like a person who loves New York. And as a person who loves New York, right? This is why I love her writing. And so I'm excited to get into The Missed Connection. I had a digital arc and I didn't get to it, but I already have the book. So I'll make my way over there because her books are perfect for the summer. Does she always drop her books in the summer? That's a thing. But yes, okay. Another book that I'm really excited to read, or new release, is The Revelation of Dionne Daphne by Akil. If you know me in real life or on the internet, I love Akil. Like, she is the type of creative like that I would dream to be in whatever medium I decided to be a creative in, if that makes sense. Like, oh, just everything she does is just done with such attention to detail and specificity, and the way she honors Black stories. Like, oh, I just love her so much. And I just feel like I've been watching her my whole life, and I'm like, yes. So the fact that she put a book out, or she's putting a book out, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna read it. You know, I'm gonna read it. I think I'm going to one of her book talks on this book tour for her first book, The Revelation of Dionne Daphne. I mean, what can't this woman do? Oh, I'm just so excited. I can't wait. I think it's gonna be fantastic. I hope it's fantastic. I hope it lives up to the hype. But yeah, so that's something that I'm really looking forward to. This second question, or this question after, is kind of similar. Most anticipated releases for the second half of the year. Okay, because that makes sense because this is a mid-year. Okay. Yes. Should Mars' book be on this list? I don't know, but I wrote other books for this, so let's just keep it moving. But okay, most anticipated releases for the second half of the year. First off is going to be the Paragon Games by Dhonielle Clayton. I have talked about this series. This is book 4 in this series, but it is Dhonielle Clayton's The Marvelers series. Like, if you and a little person in your life have not read these books, my goodness. And she did her thing in book 3. Like, book 3 is my favorite book of the series, so I'm really super excited to see where this storyline goes, and it comes out later this year. The next book would be Dragon Bride by Iman Christians, and that is the follow-up to Dragon Blind, right? So Dragon Bride comes out June 30th, and I think it's gonna be just 2 books in the series. So the way she wrote this first book, I already know she finna eat us up in this second book, and I cannot wait to be ate up, because my goodness, I need a Black Khaleesi. No new dragons have been born in a while. She ended up with some eggs. Don't say that part. There's something about her being blind and the dragons together. So yes, I'm really super excited for that. And then Uncertain Magic by A.M. Kavita. So A.M. Kavita is a new to me author, and I'm going to talk about the book in the next question, or in the next prompt. But I am really super excited for this next book, Uncertain Magic, because I read An Unlikely Coven earlier this year, and it was phenomenal. A group of misfits. There's a succubus, a witch, a vampire. Someone gets hold of magic that's not supposed to have magic. An old magical family, and it also takes place in New York, but it takes place in New York in a way that the magic factions have split up the city. And so the witches all live in Manhattan, the vampires all live in Queens for some reason. Like, you get what I'm saying? And so very interesting magical lore of this world, and using New York in such a fantastic way in the book. Must read. An Unlikely Coven. It's a must read. Okay, so those are my 3 anticipated books for the second half of the year. The Paragon Games by Dhonielle Clayton, Dragon Bride by Iman Christian, and An Uncertain Magic by A.M. Kavita. Favorite new author debut, or new to you author? New to me, not to everybody else. I was late to the party, but Tayari Jones. favorite new to me author of the year. Again, I have already bought 2 more of her back catalog, and I will be heading right on over. Definitely want to read American Marriage next. Yeah, and another new to me author was A.M. Kavita. Like, I am waiting on pins and needles for the next book. So the first book I read was An Unlikely Coven, and I love a diverse cast. I like an interesting magic system that doesn't just regurgitate what has been done in other magical systems. And I think that I said that in my first video of the 30 or the Black Booktubers Are Reading Challenge. The Black fantasy authors are really taking it. They're doing it. They're doing it. What do you mean we got black girls with dragons? What do you mean we have a coven of misfits in the middle of Manhattan? What? Give me 30. Give me more. Okay? So those are two authors that and going back to Tayari, this is something that I personally am investigating in myself. I do not like reading historical fiction. I do not like sitting with historical stories about Black people. I don't know if it's the empath in me. I get so sad, and and we should be able to read these stories and see that they were more than the struggle, the pain, the violence, these people were so much more than that. And so I've been having like conversations with friends about it, and I am probably going to really push myself to really explore historical fiction more, and not be, I don't think I'm scared of it, but I do think I kind of like stiff arm it, out of the way. And that's something I have to investigate, and that's something that I have to confront in myself, because I don't know. But it has been coming up. So I am going to read American Marriage next, and I am actually really excited to read it. Okay, what's the next? Newest fictional crush. Y'all, I don't know. Who is Sin from Sage and Sin was amazing. He was very much a delectable man on page. I'm just looking at my I read Unknowingly Bound to a Shifter by Elle Madaris. It's a part of the Snowed In Shadow Wolf Creek collab series, and yeah, Nadim was one of my favorite men on the page. Nadim has made it into the Book Bay Hall of Fame. Like, he is good. So they're like a friends to lovers, and if you read shifters are supposed to be able to like smell their person and all that bullshit, and he can't smell her, and so they're just friends, and he has this very intense, passionate, like protective, territorial thing going on, and it's really interesting to kind of watch them navigate that when she's not his partner technically. But Nadim is written as though he is a beautifully crafted man. His like protection is very sexy, and the way he provides is also very sexy. I don't know. I do know he was delectable on the page. So Sin and Nadim from Unknowingly Bound to a Shifter are my 2 new Book Bay crushes for sure. Okay, let's see. Books that made you cry. Ken, I cried. Yep. Ken, I cried. Why We Can't Wait, I cried. Something else made me cry. What else made me cry? Hold on, I feel like I said it. Something else made me cry. No. Let's see. Did something else? Yes! Sage and Sin made me cry. Sage and Sin, Ken, and Why We Can't Wait. All 3 of those books definitely made me cry. Sage and Sin has this scene in it that hits you out of nowhere, and you kind of like, what? Oh my God. In Ken, those last 30 pages, I cried nonstop until I got to the end of the book, and I was just like, okay, I need to collect myself. And I needed at least an hour. And Why We Can't Wait by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Again, there's this section where he talks about him and I think it's Dr. Abernathy walking to the jail. So before he writes the letter in the Birmingham jail, they go to surrender themselves as agitators in Birmingham, because there were these rules about agitation. And he talks about the streets of Birmingham being lined with people singing "We Shall Overcome." And I was like, what? Oh my God. Oh, our people, like the things that we have had to come up against and fight through. But yeah, I mean, Why We Can't Wait is a must read for sure for everybody. But yeah, all three of those books definitely made me cry. Sage and Sin, Kin, and Why We Can't Wait. Okay, a book that made me happy. You know what? Mayhem and the Mortal actually made me really happy. So Mayhem and the Mortal by Shanora Williams is about a girl, Ziara, who goes on this mission to try to save her sister, who is under this curse by this magician. And she gets with this ragtag group of people, and they go on this like undoable adventure to go and get the thing that they need to come back to save the sister. And it gives very much, I put it in this category probably with like Legends and Lattes and Assistant to the Villain, if you've read either of those. But it feels like Ella Enchanted on the page. So if you liked Ella Enchanted as a kid, you would really like Mayhem and the Mortal. And that's why I'm smiling, because I smiled all through the book. Like, but it's adult. I will say that it is adult. There's some sexy time in there, but it is just written in this very lighthearted, fairy tale-esque way, and it was so good. It was so fun. I really like that one. I want to read the second one of that. When does the second one of that come out? Let me see. Wait. Mayhem and Immortal. Nothing on book 2. Interesting. Okay. Guess we'll be waiting. No, they have to have a second one. Hold on, let me go. I'm gonna just hold, please. Let's sing. Okay, but that came out this year, so. And Shanora was a new to me author, so I could put that in the list of new to me authors as well, because that book was really, really good. But yeah, that book made me very happy. Okay, most beautiful book I've bought this year. About 85 books. You would think I would know which one I thought was pretty. Let's see. You know, this I think that this is stunning. Where the False Gods Dwell by Denny S. Bryce. And I want to say that this author also had another book that I thought was like gorgeous. Yes, Wild Women in the Blues. Okay, so this author puts beautiful books together. This one is gorgeous. This is stunning. This one is about Chicago, 1935. Othello is an orphan con artist and needs to escape the city's brutal underworld, or else Vivian Jean is a wealthy wife, student, anthropologist. Either to prove herself professionally and personally. Zinzi is a Jamaican laborer. Okay. That's why I got this book. It's inspired by the life of Catherine Dunham, the legendary choreographer, and her groundbreaking expedition into the heart of Caribbean dance culture. Boom. That's why I got it. You know what? I need to move this up on my TBR. I need to move this up. Actually, this might be my next read. But isn't she just beautiful? Yes. Okay. This might be my next read. Okay. Oh, Denny. Oh my gosh. She also helped co-write Can't We Be Friends, a novel of the friendship between Ella Fitzgerald and Marilyn Monroe. I have that. It's up there. Okay, Denny, I see your game. I need to get in there. Okay. No problem. Okay, so yes, that's the most beautiful book I think I bought this year. Books you need to finish before the year ends. Okay, friends, that is just going to be a video all in itself. So I am currently in the middle of a 52 book year challenge. gonna make a video on that. And I'm also gearing up to do Herkid, the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, which Curdy over on YouTube created. So with those two things, I'm going to be doing videos on books that I need to finish and books that I would like to read. You see what I'm saying? So instead of like going into depth in this video, I'm not going to do that. We'll have whole videos for that. What book disappointed me the most? So just a refresher, I do not believe in getting on here and being like, I hated that book. Oh my God. Like, you know, I have the mentality of Erykah Badu. Like, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. And if I don't have anything constructive to say, the book I might have just not liked it. It might have been the wrong time for me to read it. You know, I might not have been in the headspace to read it, to enjoy it, right? So, and someone might have loved it. And so I don't like yucking people's yum, and I don't like just talking bad about people's art unless I have something critical, like constructively critical to say. And so for the book that I didn't like, I have nothing constructive to say. I feel like I was bamboozled into a closed door romance that I enjoyed the book. I just hated that it was closed door, and I didn't know that it was closed door going into it. So I think if I had known that, I probably would not have read the book, because I'm really good at not reading things that I probably wouldn't like. So I DNF books that I don't like, but I also normally don't pick up books that I wouldn't like, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty tapped into what I like and what I gravitate towards. And if I am stepping out of my comfort zone, it's because someone I really trust has put me onto the book. So that's that. Okay. What surprised me the most? I don't think a particular book surprised me the most this year, but what I will say is that not having a numerical goal has really taken a lot of stress out of reading for me, and it has made it so much more pleasurable. Like, I am having such a fun and whimsy time because I'm just out here reading what the fuck I want, and I'm not looking at numbers and did you read this many books this month? I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm sorry. Y'all, I feel so different just about my reading journal. I mean, my reading journey and things. After the last 2 years, like, I'm really here for vibes. Really here for vibes, babes. And if the vibes ain't good, I ain't doing it. And I just think that putting that number, you know, that 150, 200, whatever number I goaled myself, that was the most stressful thing. And when I needed something to take off of my plate, first thing to go was that. And so that has surprised me the most, and it has also brought me the most joy, and reading is fun again. And that's that. And that's that. Okay. We have reached the end of the mid-year book tag, and I have yapped way too much. I am so sorry I kept y'all sitting here so long. I might cut out a few minutes if I can. But yes, this was fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, so please tell me if you've heard of any of the books that I talked about today. Please tell me if you plan on reading any of the books that we talked about today. Yeah, and I want y'all to know, when you talk to me down, I'm really in the chat. Like, oh my God, hey girl, what's up? And I hope y'all don't think I'm weird with my little, you know, hey girl, hey lady. Like, I like to acknowledge the person in you because you're acknowledging the person in me. If you made it to this part of the video, please drop a stack of books and I will come down and heart it. Thank you for your time and your energy in this space, and I'm so appreciative that you're here. But yeah, until the next time, later guys, bye.